What's your favorite scary movie?
We have such sights to show you.
Mountains!
All you ever learned is my desire.
My name is Frankenstein!
Goblins gone mad!
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
See this? This is my boomstick!
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice creamed business.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
It's alive! It's alive!
Here's Johnny. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains. There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror.
What's up, all you horror movie loving fuckers? Welcome back to another episode of the Fright Flick FMK podcast. As always, I'm your host, Jay, and I'm still flying solo, still waiting on my little bro to, finish up his stuff and get back on here with me. But this week you're stuck with me. So, hey, I appreciate y'all being back for another episode, another week. It's been a couple weeks, had some, life happens, I just haven't got back on here. And I've been watching movies and stuff like that, but I just didn't really take the time to get on here and do another episode. I was planning on, I had a couple other movies that I wanted to do and talk about, but then good old Amazon released the new Final Destination, Bloodlines. I didn't go see this in the theater. I don't do movie theaters. I don't do well in public. I'm kind of introvert, kind of like to stick to myself. Out in public in a movie theater, I get really annoyed. And so movie theaters just aren't my thing. And I get it. A lot of movies are better in theater. I get it. But, I just can't do it. So I always look forward to when Amazon drops, newer movies, and, they do some that's still in theater sometime. But this one hit, I came across it and I was like, finally, I was super excited for this one because I remember, I think it was 2000 when the very first one came out. And way back then, I wasn't big into horror or anything like that. It was just a movie that I went and seen. And hell, I can't remember if I went back then and seen that in the theater or not. It may have been a good old, DVD type thing or something. I don't really remember. But I remember watching that one. And it was just something about it, man. It was just, I loved it. And every time the new one came out, I wanted to see it. And I was always a fan all the way through all of them. I enjoy watching them. I've seen them all numerous times. So I remember when it was put out that they were going to be making a new one, and it's been like years. I think the first one came out in 2000, and I think the last one, let me see, was like maybe Final Destination 5 in 2011. That's a long, long time. And so I was really excited. And I was, because I look at what they did back in 2000 and the things they were able to do as far as the deaths and the story and everything to it, man, it just drew me into it. And I love the Final Destination series. And so I was really excited when this one was getting made. I was ready. I wanted to see it. And so good old Amazon came through. I got it on Amazon. Watched it a couple days ago. And so now that's what we're going to talk about this week. So, hey, I appreciate your family for coming back another week and listening to us. If you're new to the show, welcome. Reach over there, hit that like, subscribe, follow along, whatever that shit is. And, hang with the Fright Flick family for a little while. But everybody grab your drinks real quick. You should all know by now, we drink here, and you should be drinking now. So everybody grab your drinks real quick. Gentleman Jack break right there. Good stuff. So yeah. Not really much to talk about except the movie, of course. But it's summertime here. It sucks. I hate summer. I mean, I hate it. I'm ready for cold weather, ice on the ground type shit. I don't. Warm weather puts me in a bad mood. I just hate summertime, and can't wait till the fall that's here and it starts cooling off, and get into football season and all that good shit. Can't wait. But yeah, so Final Destination Bloodlines. Like I said, I'm a big fan of the series. Enjoyed them all. Just some of the coolest kills in them. That's just, you look back at them like, holy shit, that was just so cool the way they did it. And you remember so much of those movies. Like there's, you can't go down the road and pass a log truck. If you've seen the Final Destination stuff and pass a log truck, and that just pops in your mind. You remember that type of shit. You remember like, holy shit, I remember that log truck. You remember, the racetrack scene where the tire comes flying through, and it was creative, and it was different, and it was just this whole idea of like, death don't lose, and you're not going to cheat it when it's your time. It's your time. And so I had big hopes going into Final Destination Bloodlines. I was just super excited that hell yeah, we finally get another one after all these years. And for me, Final Destination movies could almost be like a fucking Fast and Furious if you wanted to, for me, because I enjoy them. I like them. They could just keep rolling. Even, I just think it's cool. I think it's seeing how creative they can come up with these different ways to, kill. And people always thinking like, you can get that they think they can win, that they can get one over on death. And so, yeah. So now we get Bloodlines, Final Destination Bloodlines, 2020. It just hit 2025. I think I have a description. Let me see if I got it pulled up here. A quick little, I get this shit off IMDb, people. I'm not fancy, but plagued by a recurring violent nightmare, a college student returns home to find the one person who can break the cycle and save her family from the horrific fate that inevitably awaits them. I got that out pretty good because I haven't been drinking too long yet. Inevitably. Doesn't roll so well. That one I have to work for to get out. That's another Gentleman Jack break. So, directors of this one, Zach Lipovsky. I butcher names here all the time, people. If you want to see it, go fucking Google it. Adam B. Steen was one of them. Yeah. I'm not going to waste time going down the cast. It's one of those things, Google it, go to IMDb, show them some love, click on them, stuff like that. I try to remember the names of the characters in the movies. I don't do so well remembering who they are unless it's somebody that I really, really, really like. But yeah, this one is about close to 2 hours, about an hour and 50 minutes. And going into this one, like I said, I was just looking forward to like, what are they going to do? Like all the deaths and all the shit we've got through all the other ones. I'm just like, holy shit, 2025. What are we going to do? And I went through and looked at kind of like the budget thing of these movies, as far as like kind of like what they had money wise backing them. And I don't know how true this all is. I get this straight from the old interweb, Google some shit. But like the budget for like the very first one in like 2000, I think it was like March of 2000. I looked up where the budget is like $23 million. That's not chump change, people. That's a lot of fucking money. And it continued to grow, of course, with everyone, you know, and it's crazy because even the Final Destination 5, I looked up and it was right at $40 million budget in 2011. Here we are in 2025, and they roll with this one with a $50 million budget. 50 million. And that just blows my mind. Because, and I know there's movies out there that's got a lot more money involved in them. I got it. But because here on this show, I'm such a huge fan of like independent horror movies, you know, and these independent directors and writers that go out there, you know, and it's like they almost have to like, you know, beg to get the money to make these movies they want to make. You know, they have to do fundraising and stuff like this, and you know, the indie go type stuff, you know, to get the funds to make their movies. And I appreciate that. I love it. That's my favorite, independent all day. But every now and then, you know, there's movies, these big name, big movies, you know, that I want to see and talk about. And like I said, Final Destination, huge fan, and getting to talk about the brand new one. And now look, and I see you got $50 million into this film. And I feel like the more I talk about this thing, y'all are going to know my rating. If you're new here, just a quick little rundown. We rate them on if I would rather fuck it, marry it, or kill it. Marrying it, love of your life. Cuddle with it every night. Fall asleep holding them. Love waking up with them every day. You can watch that movie any day of the week. Fucking it, that's your friends with benefit. That's your one night stand. Call it up every now and then when you just have an urge. You don't know what you want to watch, but you know you can put that movie in, and it's gonna get you there. The kill is the sea donkey. The sea donkey is the one you met at the club on a late night, took it home, fucked it, and you just wanted to get the fuck away from it the next day. You never want to see it again. That's the way I rate them. Fuck, marry, kill. And so I feel like the more I talk about this one, it's going to kind of give it away. But that's okay. I will say this with Bloodlines. It did a very good job of getting my attention right out of the gate. And a lot of times for me, I always say for me, you know, in the first 10 minutes, you need to get my attention. Even though I have this, I'm cursed because I don't have the ability to like turn a movie off, no matter how bad it may be, no matter how much of a fucking pile of dog shit movie it is, I have to finish it. Like once I push play, I can sit there and talk shit the whole time and almost be in a bad mood because of the movie. It's kind of like pissed me off, but I got to finish it. I got to get to the end of it. And so that's the way I am with pretty much any horror movie. Got to finish it. Got to watch it. And so it always, you know, with movies though, like the first 10 minutes, man, get my attention. Give me something to kind of like get me. Now you may fuck it up and drop the ball later. You may get down the road and I'd be like, okay, you fooled me. You had me in the first little bit there and you fooled me and then you fucked me. You dropped the ball and you gave me a pile of dog shit. There's plenty of those out there. I'm okay with them. When it comes to horror, I still enjoy watching it. Even though I'm watching it in a bad mood, I'm still, I got to watch it. I have to know. And so like I said, with Bloodlines, it did a good job. You know, because it had me wondering, because, you know, this one takes place when it kicks off, you know, we're rolling with back in the day. I want to say maybe the 50s, 60s, maybe. I don't know. I was born in the 70s, but the way the cars, the way they dress, maybe the 60s, maybe. And that's kind of where it starts out. You know, guy and girl riding down the road together, blindfolded, got a little surprise for his lady. You know, she's kind of like, where are we going? He's like, hey, keep the blindfold on, baby. I got a surprise for you. You know, and I like that time. I like that era. I like the music. I like the way everybody dresses back then. If I could, you know, I would be okay with going back in time and having to live in a time. I just like the way the dress, the way everybody looked, the music, everything. I really liked it. So I was a big fan, like had me right out of the gates. Holy shit, like this one's going to take place like back. You know, that's where I'm in my mind. I'm going, okay, when you said Bloodlines, we going to take a step back in time or we going back? And so had my attention. guy and girl, lovers, little date night. Gonna surprise this sweet little lady. And hold on, everybody grab your drinks real quick. Gentleman Jack break, thank you. Now, so when I see that, I'm like, okay, it's got my attention. They pull up at a joint. He gets out, takes the blindfold off. He's going to surprise her. You know, takes the blindfold off. She looks and she's just blown away. He has planned it. He's put the time in. I think Paul is his name. Paul has put the work in for Iris. Iris is the young lady who is his girlfriend. He's put the work in. Got to pull some strings. I knew a guy that got me some, you know, some reservations here. What this thing is, where he's surprising her, is this big, massive needle looking thing. I don't know what they call that thing in Seattle, where the big, you go up to the top and can eat, I guess. I don't know if it rotates or whatever. I don't know. But this thing, they get there and it's like this tall ass needle. And at the top it's round and it looked like it's like a restaurant type thing. Brand new, just opened up. Only the top notch people. This is opening night. Something big, massive. Like, you got to know people. You are somebody if you're in this tower. And so when they pull up, you know, he's going to surprise her. And what it is basically this long ass tall needle, basically an elevator at the bottom. You hop on the elevator, see-through elevator, shoots you right up this big tall ass needle to the top where this big round restaurant thing is. And like I said, these are high class. This high class shit here, you know. And Paul has put in, you know, he's made this happen for his lady. Paul's got plans. He's got a plan for this whole big date. And so when they get there, and you know, and like I said, I like the music that's playing, and throughout the whole movie, the great, awesome music in the movie. I will give it that. But they pull up and you're hearing like Johnny Cash, Ring of Fire playing. Huge Johnny Cash fan. And so they go over to this elevator. They go right to the top of this thing. And when they get there, it's kind of full. Brand new opening night. The elevator's kind of full. And they're kind of like standing there. And this thing's, it's like pretty full. And the guy, the little elevator attendant guy, he's like, you know, they're like, come on in. And it's just old Paul and Irish, you know, like, come on, jump on in. But before they got on the elevator, there was this little boy. I don't know who the parents of this little boy was. I don't think you ever see the fucking parents of this kid, because when Paul and Iris first get there, this kid, they got like a little fountain out front. The kid's over there messing around in the fountain, trying to take the money out of it. The little guy that works there is like, hey, it's bad luck to take money from a little wishing thing. You know, them fountains we used to have them in the mall and shit like that. Throw some money in there. He's trying to take some money out. Little boy, just a typical little fucking kid you want to throat punch. You know, within the first couple minutes, even watching him or listening to him. Like I said, don't know who his parents were. Because when they go to get on the elevator, the little boy is on the elevator getting ready to go up. If his parents are there, the parents are some fucking pussies that don't say shit to him. And he's just being a little fucking brat. And I'm just like, oh, don't you just hate them fucking kids like that? The kids are just little brats and the parents are just fucking pussies because they won't fucking do anything. It's like they're scared of this little kid. Like, don't want to upset him. Just let him run wild and do whatever the fuck he wants. That's what this little boy was. And I'm just like, man, just reach over there and fucking throat punch him or something to shut him the fuck up or get him to act right. But mom and dad don't know who the fuck they were. They don't do shit. If they're there, you don't know. So they get to this elevator. And the dude's like, they're like, come on, get on the elevator. And I'm sitting there, you know, we've seen Final Destinations. We know kind of what's coming. And even though we know that they got to get on this elevator, I'm sitting there going like, don't get on the elevator. Don't get on that. But you know, they're getting on the elevator. So they get on there and there's like a sign posted. And it's like, the weight was like 1,300 pounds or 8 adults. There was more than 8 adults in this elevator. I had to count quick. I'm pushing more like 12 or so crammed in this little tube of an elevator. And when the door goes to closes, the damn thing don't even close all the way. We're on day one here, people. first day. You know, at this point, you would think all the bugs have been worked out. They put in the time. They know this is a big deal in this little city. They know this is going to have eyes all over it. So you know that they're like, hey, we need to make sure this thing is top notch, like ready to go. As soon as they get on the elevator, goes to close the door don't close all the way. Elevator attendant says, oh, it's been doing this. And I'm like, right then, I'd have been pushing old dude out of the way. Like, you know what? No, I don't want this anymore. Let's go on down the street, grab us some McDonald's or something. You know, we're not doing this. And the dude literally has to like push with his hands, pull the door to close. And then he makes the comment to him. He's like, yeah, they're so excited. They finished this project like 5 months ahead of time. Another flag goes up. Anything that goes on nowadays, and I would assume maybe back then too, I would prefer it to go over the due date. You know, maybe there was some issues. You had to work out some bugs. Maybe the elevator door didn't fucking close all the way, so we couldn't open on time because we needed to sort this shit out. But no, they finished this project. Big, tall ass fucking needle that goes, I don't know how many feet up in the air. And 5 months ahead of time. Right then, that should have been a problem. Like, what corner did you cut to get this bad boy done 5 months ahead of time? But here we are. They're on the elevator. Push the button. We're going up. You can tell our girl Iris just ain't feeling right. And I don't blame her. I don't like heights, family. I'm not a heights person. You know, I did time in the military, you know, flew all over the place, all this. I still don't like it. I don't like heights. And so as soon as they get in the elevator, this thing closes up. Well, it's like a see-through type thing that you can see out. So as this elevator is going straight up, you can see them kind of looking out over the city, the town, wherever the fuck they were at. And nobody's talking. That would make it worse for me. Like, nobody in the elevators like chit-chatting. So all you're hearing is the little noises that are being made as this thing starts riding to the top. And you know, in complete silence, you would be hearing every little creak, anything. That's why I'm not a big fan of silence a lot of times. Even when I go to sleep at night, I got like 2 fans going, a ceiling fan going. I got a noise machine next to me making some ocean waves crashing on the shore type shit. I don't like complete silence. And even during the day, like when I'm up and about the house, there's some type of something going on in the background. Even the TV's playing something in the background or something, you know. So they get on this elevator, ain't nobody saying shit, riding to the top, and she starts hearing it like these noises. And I'm like, because I remember growing up going to like the amusement parks and shit. Back home in the Carolinas, we had Carowinds. And I remember getting on certain rides and I had a huge fear of roller coasters for the longest time before I would ever get on a roller coaster. But I remember when I would start riding them, it was still you would hear those noises when something would start going up, you know, be on a roller coaster and that thing start climbing. You start hearing that clickety, 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 clickety shit. And in your mind, my mind would be racing. Like the worst thing possible, you know, is about to happen. And so I was always, for the longest time, I was terrified. And even to this day, I enjoy roller coasters. I like riding them. I still enjoy them. I'm better off on a roller coaster than, like, my least favorite ride of all is a fucking Ferris wheel. I don't know why. A Ferris wheel still scares the shit out of me today. It's just, I get it. You sit down in it. It just makes a big fucking circle and it takes you up and just round and round. I get it, but I don't know why that thing fucking scares me. I would rather get on the biggest, baddest roller coaster in the world and just ride that thing and be done than to put me on a Ferris wheel. They're creepy, man. You hear all the noises. There ain't no noise on a Ferris wheel. It's just like this movement and you're hearing these little creaky noises. Don't like it. So the whole time she's riding this elevator and you're hearing these noises, I'd have been losing my shit going up. And then you got the little boy whose mommy and daddy ain't doing shit. He's like jumping up and down. And then you realize in the elevator, see-through floors. It's like glass see-through floors in the elevator. No, this is the fucking 60s, I'm assuming. Maybe they said the date in this, I don't remember, but I'm assuming 60-ish. You know, back then, things may not be built as good as they is nowadays. And so when this little boy starts jumping up and down as this elevator is going up, and she's kind of like, you can tell she's kind of tensing up. She's grabbing old Paul's arm and shit. And the little boy just jumping, he looks at her with this little smirk. And instantly I wanted to punch him. Like, if the mom and dad was in that elevator and they wasn't doing anything, and then I reached over and just accidentally elbowed him in the throat to like settle their little cum nugget down, they may look at me like, why did you do that? I'm like, why the fuck didn't you do anything? Then you may have to, throat punch mom and dad too. Who knows? But the little boy's jumping, and I'm just like, man, she's got to be thinking like, just get to the top, get to the top. And then they finally get to the top, come off the elevator. Like I said, the beginning got my attention. You've watched Final Destinations, you know the routine kind of, but it doesn't matter. You're still along for the ride and you're looking forward to it. So when everything starts happening, when they get up there, this little signs are starting to happen, and you start seeing the look on Iris's face of like, just something's going down. And you're seeing, and I do spoil shit on this show, people. I spoil the shit out of movies. Sometimes I try not to. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. But it is what it is. But when they're up in this tower, and there's a part where she even he walks over to the edge, and they're looking, and as soon as she looked down and she kind of takes a step back, I felt that, like when she did it. Because heights, man, it's a thing to me. What was that, the newish movie that came out where they were on that fucking tower? What was it called? Tower, Fall, Fail, something. I don't know. The two chicks decided to climb that long ass thing, that tall ass thing, and got stuck up there. I enjoy that movie, but that thing gives me the nervousness when I watch it. Like when it can show that camera view when they look down, it's like I'm standing there. It's like I feel my stomach rise up almost. And so when she's kind of looking down from this tower and she makes that step back, I'm like, I feel you, girl. I've been stepping back too. Like, somebody would have been like, oh, come look. I'm like, you know what? I see enough right over here at the bar where I'd be getting fucking shit-faced drunk. And they'd be like, oh, come look. I'd be like, no, pour me another Jack and Coke. I'll sit right here at the bar, And so while she's there, you start realizing some stuff's kind of unfolding. You come to find out our girl Iris is pregnant. She ends up, bumping into like the lady who's singing there. They got like a live band playing. This is like top-notch shit, people. It made me wonder though. When you see it, it's like this tall, straight up needle, and then at the top it's round. They got like a dance floor. They got all the tables and stuff. They got the stage for the band. They got a bar in the middle, and everybody's sitting around eating and drinking and stuff like that. I'm wondering, where do they keep it all? Like, where is the storage for all the food? Where's the storage for all the booze? I don't know. It's a good size, but it seems like when you're in the movie, you're only kind of like on let's just say one half of it. So maybe the other half is something. But you would think that it's like a full round dining experience. I'm not sure, but it's kind of weird because when I'm watching it, I start thinking shit like that. And so the band is playing, and the lady in the band, it kind of bumps into Iris, and the lady in the band had to bring her little boy to work today because sometimes life happens, and she just had to bring him to work. So he's just kind of sitting there doing his thing, hanging out while mom's on stage singing and stuff like that. Well, she kind of bumps into her, and the lady, she talks to her a minute, and like the lady knew she was pregnant. And so her and Paul ended up, chit chatting, and then he decides, he could tell she's not feeling good. He just assumes she's scared of heights. So he's like, let's go get some fresh air. But she tells him she's not afraid of heights. So that's off the table. Like, oh, I'm not afraid of heights. She just wasn't feeling too well. She said, let's go get some air. Apparently at this big tall ass needle restaurant thing, there's a part where you can go up some stairs and open the door, and it's like the sky view. Like you walk outside now. You are now outside, rail around it, and you can just kind of look and see. Just open. No, thank you. No, I just not doing it. But they go out there and you see off to the side. You see this one lady, she's standing there, little hat on, just kind of looking around. Over here, you got a couple hanging out. You know, it's kind of like you can walk all the way around it, like 360. You can walk all the way around it. And over here to the side, you got that same little boy. The same little boy that should have been throat punched on ground floor. He's over there with he's got like a penny. The penny he stole from that fountain. The same fountain when the dude looked at him and said, don't take money from the fountain. That could be bad luck. Now we got little fucking Junior with no mommy and daddy around to slap the shit out of him. He's over there wanting to throw money off the side. He's trying to act like he's going to throw that money. And I don't know if he'd already had some money. Maybe he took more than a few pennies and he's just throwing that shit off the side, which is dangerous because that penny got to go down because I think like the security guy's like, hey, don't throw that off the side. You could kill somebody. And the little boy is like, okay. And then when he walks off, he like calls him like a fat ass or something. And I'm like, man, I wanted to throw that little boy off the side. You know, just his little, you fucking hate the little kid. I do anyway. Throat punch him, chunk him over the side. But while they're out there, our boy Paul is going to propose to Iris. You know, kind of felt maybe something was a big deal. You know, he set this whole thing up, get him up there. And so he's going to propose to her. When he's proposing to her, you know, some people around kind of seeing it like, oh, look, you know, we got something going, a little proposal going on. Then she makes a comment like, you know, tells her like, yeah, I can't wait to spend my life with you. And she kind of like, oh, you mean us? And she does a little touching of the belly. And he's like, oh, you're pregnant. She tries to apologize, but Paul's super excited. You know, they're like, good to go. And he's like, let's go in and celebrate. They go in to celebrate, back into the little indoor thing, go downstairs, music's playing. They're going to hit the little dance floor, do some dancing and shit. When they go in the door, you look over there and that little boy with the penny. After they told him to don't throw, he throws it off the side. Penny starts flying off the side. Wind catches it somehow. I don't know, but it comes back in like this little air vent type thing where it's like the air circulating. I don't know, but it flies in there. When it goes in there, it jumps over there and it jams a fan. And when it jammed that fan, you're like, okay, here we go. Here we go, Final Destination. Let's see what you got. And, you know, this whole building, like the dance floor in this tower, is like glass. And earlier when like she got sick, you started seeing the little things happening that started like putting it all together for you. And when it all finally goes down, kudos. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed like when the shit starts hitting the fan, you know, glass floor shatters, people flying out, you know, and stuff like that. The penny went through, caused a fucking shit show. You know, we get a gas leak, explosion, and it's all going to hell. But then the one part that was funny to me, though, there was a part where when everything's kicking off and it's shit's hitting the fan, this one lady is running. And the dude was cooking with some kind of pot. It was like one of them that like flames up and shit. When she runs by, I can't remember if he kind of like dropped it on her or something, but she catches fire. And that was the first time where I'm like, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. It just something about that part where she just kind of like running and it was so fucking fake looking. I did not like that. and she's just kind of running around. And I'm sitting there going, I went to school in the 80s. They taught us stop, drop, and roll back then. Was that not a thing? 10, 15 years earlier? Was it not? The lady's just running around like nobody. And that's up there with all them uppity up fucking rich people. Ain't nobody trying to help nobody but themselves. So this lady's kind of running around. And nobody does anything. She's just running with this kind of slow, fake ass looking. I'm like, really? Like, don't even look like, I didn't like it. Strike one. And so she's kind of like this gingerly running around. And then she kind of gets to where that gas leak was coming through the vent. And I'm sitting there going like, stop, drop, and roll, lady. Just stop. Start rolling somebody. But nobody would do anything. So in my mind, I'm going, I hope that's that little boy's mama. I hope that little boy that threw that penny, I hope that's his mama running through there, blaze a fire, gets to the gas leak, and boom, explodes. I'm like, okay, half the fucking thing blows out, and people are still running around everywhere. People are panicking. People are trying to get to the elevator. Ain't so many people gonna fit on that elevator, people. 1,300 pounds, 8 adults. When they start packing on this elevator, and as soon as they start climbing on the elevator, we knew it was gonna happen. That elevator, you're about to get a quick ass ride down to the bottom. And this is where we first start getting that first crazy kill. Dude trying to get on the elevator. The elevator's full. He's kind of like halfway in. Let me in. Like one of them rich fucks that thinks he should just be able to get on there. And so we got our girl Iris. And now all this is led up to the fact that Paul was dead already. Paul didn't make it past the whole glass floor and the dance floor shattering and going all to shit, And so when she gets around to that elevator, they're trying to, like, the old man, the dude that pushed her out of the way. Like when she gets there, he just comes running around, like shoves her on the ground. Iris is on the ground. This little rich old fucker. And then I'm going, okay, wait a minute. I hope this is the father of that little fucking cum nugget that threw the penny off the side of the tower. I hope that's the daddy. We've already took care of mama. Mama did her little fake ass blaze of glory run to the gas spot and blew the fuck up. Now we got dad. In my mind, that's the dad of the little fucking little douche nozzle that was running around, being a little dick. Dad's trying to get in the elevator. Let me in. Elevator can't hold all that weight, people. Can't hold it all. Bam, elevator lets loose. That's a long ride down. It is going to be fast because it is packed full of a lot of weight. But when that elevator lets loose and goes, it literally takes this dude and just almost like smashes him, splits him in half, just a big gushing pile of blood and mess. And I'm like, yes. Because I love some gore. I love some good killing. I love the fact how the Final Destinations always kind of like went, way too far sometime with how they do it. But I was like, yes. And all this is going down, and I'm still waiting on that part. I'm like, okay, at some point, this is where Iris is going to snap to. Iris is going to have that moment. Like she's like, oh, I just seen something. We all got to get out of here type thing. That's what I'm waiting on. Oh, before I move on, I will say this. In my mind, the dad and the mother of that little shithead little boy died. There comes a part where you think little Junior's going to get away. There's a stairway that goes down. They all try to get to the stairway. When they get to the stairway to take the stairs down, the building's kind of like falling apart. The big tower is, half of it falls off. They can't go nowhere, but then you see the little boy. The little boy is just he made it through that breaking part. So the little boy was going to make it down the stairs. And I know there's some people out there thinking, oh, at least the little kid was okay. No, I was pulling for that little fucker to die. I wanted him to die in a bad way. So when he gets down the stairs, I'm just like, oh, this little kid better not fucking make it. I don't want him to be one that I got to deal with later on in this movie. I don't want him to be one. So everything's going down up in the tower. There comes a cool ass part that involves a fucking piano and the piano and the penny. Just that penny, man, just hits that piano just right. Piano comes flying down. And when it goes flying out that window, and then all of a sudden I see that little boy come out the bottom. And I'm like, okay, thank you, Final Destination gods, because you're going to kill this little piece of shit for me. And the little boy comes running out. He's got this little relieved smirk on his face. And next thing you know, that fucking piano just pancakes his ass. And it's like a cheering moment for me. I'm like, yes. In my mind, you have taken care of that whole little family. Little shithead boy's gone. Mama, blaze of glory gone. Daddy got split in half because he was trying to catch an elevator. The whole little family's gone. So like I said, right now, I'm into it. Oh shit, just knocked shit on my desk. But I'm into it, and you got my attention now. But then when it all comes down, I'm waiting on the part where Iris snaps out of it and she's like, oh, we gotta get here, but it doesn't happen. We get us a girl having a dream. Wakes up having a dream in the class. So kind of what this is we got our girl Steph. She is having nightmares for like the last couple months. She's having nightmares over and over about that incident that went down at that tower. She sees it all. And she comes to find out that Iris is her grandmother. Iris, and so Steph's mom is the daughter of Iris. So you come to find out that she apparently, you knew that she had to save them, because she's trying to figure out why she's having these dreams. And she tries to go to her family, but her uncle, she got her uncle, her mom ditched him. Her mom ditched her when she was like 10. So her mom's been gone for 10 or more years. She's got her brother, Charlie. She stays with her dad. Well, she don't. She's in college, but Charlie's there with the dad. She's having these fucking crazy ass dreams. So she decides to go home to try to figure out maybe where these dreams are coming from, because she knows, I think she knows that this Iris is her grandmother because she needs to talk to her. Like, why am I having these dreams? Her mom's done ditched her. So she goes home to go talk to her uncle. So the uncle, Howard, I think is his name. Let me see if I got this pulled up. I think I had the cat. I think it is Howard plays Uncle Howard plays the son to Iris, the oldest. So she goes to him wanting to find out, wants to talk to her, try to figure out what's going on. But Howard don't want to have nothing to do with that. Howard's like, no, you need to stay away from it. She's a crazy woman. She growing up, she was terrified, and wouldn't let them go to school, wouldn't let them do anything because she was terrified that they were going to die. It's like she had started figuring out that something bad was going to happen to her family. She started, and so it got to the point to where they basically come and took the kids from her, because like child services or whatever come in and took the kids because of the way she was. And she basically just leaves, goes off to some cabin somewhere. While all this is going on, you're meeting the rest of the family. Howard got 3 kids, I think. Eric, Bobby, Julia, I think's her name. Yeah, we're going to go with Julia. So Julia, Eric, Bobby, 3 kids to Uncle Howard. Steph and Charlie, 2 kids to the daughter of Iris. And let me see if I can remember her name. I have to look it up. Darlene. Yeah, Darlene is the mother to Steph. This kind of all the main people in this thing. Aunt Brenda, the wife to Uncle Howard. Steph's dad's name's Marty. But when you first meet the family, you realize that our girl Steph's kind of been away at college, kind of stayed away from the family. Now she's come home having these issues, and you tell her brother Charlie's upset about it, like she ain't been there. She goes over to Uncle Howard's to try to wants to talk to Iris. She wants to know where she's at, and Uncle Howard just kind of like, no, you need to stay away from her. She's crazy. Well, then Aunt Brenda kind of gives her a little hint, like, don't go look in that drawer. And she finds an envelope in there addressed from Iris. And when she opens that envelope, you see the picture. There's a picture of Iris and Paul standing at that tower where they were at that night. And so when you meet the family, here's what I didn't, when it comes to the cast in this movie, this is kind of like where you finally have met them all now. You've met the cousins, brothers, aunts, uncles, all that shit. But here's what I felt like as I'm watching them. It was like if Disney wanted to make a horror movie, and you would think these characters and actors or whatever had come off a Disney TV show. It was just, they were just, I don't know. I did not like the cast. I just felt like everything was, I don't know how to explain it. I'm not a deep type person. I'm just saying, this is my opinion of this, and everybody's got their own opinion, but I just did not like the cast of them. They just felt goody to a point. It was just way too, it's like everything they were doing was forced. It was like they were just, it was a Disney family. I don't know how to explain it. You just have to see it. Go watch it, But I did not like none of them. None of them. Like, as soon as they all started, and I definitely didn't like Sophie. She was supposed, the one who was having the dreams. Didn't like her. None of them really. I just didn't like none of the cast in this movie. I didn't like the writing. I didn't like, some of the shit was just kind of cheesy the way it come across. Some of it was just, it was rushed. I feel like there was a lot of like fast forwarding through shit sometimes where it's like, I don't know. All the kids seem to still live at home with Uncle Howard. You got the one kid, Eric, who looks like that one kid that's never going to leave home. That's just going to milk off of mommy and daddy's, money the rest of his life. When they first meet him, he's laid on the couch playing like Mortal Kombat or some shit. And, kid with like, earring in his nose and all that shit. And he looks totally different than the rest of them. Bobby, he looks like the little preppy kid, the little popular kid in high school, all preppy looking. The sister looks like the little popular little chick in high school, that everybody wants to be friends with type shit. And that's where I started when I started watching them interact and listening to the way they're talking and the way that the writing was in this thing, I just didn't like it. And I'm like, okay, so you had me in the beginning, and then it, like, just watching the cast, I don't know, it seemed Disney to me to a point. And then she decides, I want to go meet Iris, and she finally goes to meet Iris. Iris is off the grid, man. Like, she hops in her little car, drives up in the mountains or wherever they're at, tracking this lady down, and she's off the grid. Big fenced in little, almost like a compound looking thing, like big wooden stake. You would think the zombie apocalypse was about to happen. It was like, 28 days or the Walking Dead type shit. That's what it looked like. Kind of set up in there all by herself. And so when she finally gets to talk to Sophie, and she realized, Sophie's her granddaughter, and she brings her in to talk to her, the Iris explains everything. That's when you finally realized that night, Iris had that vision. She had it. She seen what was going to happen. So she prevented everything. She went over there, took the penny from the little boy, went in there, got on the stage, stopped the dance and stopped the music, told them that the floor was going to crack and they could see the cracks in the floor. Like, she was doing everything to prevent it. And she did. She saved hundreds of lives that night. And, she tells her that they shut the building down, the big restaurant tower thing, and they never opened back up again. And so here she was. She had saved all these lives. But then it all started coming. The whole, you don't fuck with death. And so she goes into hiding. She has figured everything out. And, she's got this book with all this stuff in it, newspaper clippings, everything. She knows that she is in line to die. She's figured it all out. So she's decided, because this was years and years and years later. So death, if you fuck with death, it can cause a mess. It will cause a big mess. And there's a part in here where they actually, Tony Todd, R.I.P. fucking goat Tony Todd in here. And he tells him there's a part where he's like, if you fuck with death, it can cause a mess. And that's what she did. Iris did that when she saved all those hundreds of lives. So years and years and years and years go by. All these people who survived this went on and had kids. They had kids. They had some kids. And so Iris has broke this thing down to like this big family tree almost. And where death has gone after not just the ones that survived. Death went after their kids, their families, because those kids and families were not supposed to be there, because that person was supposed to die in that tower. So death going after all of them, the whole family line. And that I did like. Not death didn't just, because there was so many of them. It wasn't like there was just one or two death can go back and grab. There was like hundreds of people up in this thing that night that survived, So Iris has this thing figured out, and Iris has realized that death's coming for her. She's been sheltered in this little compound for years. But then she lets her know that she has got cancer. So death wasn't able to get her in the crazy whatever ways. So now she's got cancer. She knows she's going to die. But when she dies, she knows that death's going after the rest of her family. So when she dies, descendants of her, which means Uncle Howard, her mother, Danielle, that's what her name was. Can't remember. And her two daughters, her daughter and her son. Then Charlie and Steph. And then we got Uncle Howard's kids, Jules, Bobby, and Eric. Iris knows that that's how it's going to go. It's going to take them all out. Now, and there comes a part where Sophie figures all this out. She starts piecing this whole thing together, and she comes to realize that based off of her dream she was having, she knew that Iris and the little boy were the last two to die. Last two. So she knew that, and she had figured out that all the family's in trouble. Well, then everything starts happening. All the cool death stuff that the Final Destination movies give us, all the little clues, all the little, like the moment you think something's about to happen, and you're just like, oh, fuck. There's a part where they're jumping on the trampoline and there's a rake along the ground. As soon as you see that rake, you're like, oh, that's going to fuck some shit up. And it makes you think that that's going to be the thing. But then something happens like, okay, shit, that's not it. Well, it's got to be this. And then, nope, that's not it. The whole little, like once Iris and Steph, she's up there. Steph, all of a sudden, when Iris tells her all this stuff, Steph, who was so gung-ho of trying to get to the bottom of these dreams that she was having, she was so ready. Like, I need to talk to her. I need to find out. But as soon as Iris starts putting the shit down in front of her and telling her, now all of a sudden, Jules is like, ugh. Because Iris is like, you need to stay here. You need to stay here. I need to teach you everything I know. I can protect you. You need to stay here. As soon as she starts talking that talk, all of a sudden Jules is like, no, I can't stay here. Grandma Iris, I need to go. And she just gets up to leave. Now, Iris, knowing that she's going to die, she knows she's got the cancer. Iris knows that when she dies, it's coming after the rest of her family, her kids or grandkids. So Iris has to prove it to Jules. And for her, and you see the thing folding out, like the little premonition type thing where Iris knows death is there. Death is waiting. And she hasn't left this cabin in like 20 years. Hasn't gone outside, stayed in that cabin, been protected for 20 years. Iris has been protecting her family. And not just her family, the little boy. The little boy who was the last one after her to die. So she's protecting him. And she knows if Steph goes out that door and leaves, she knows she's got the cancer. She knows she's going to die. Now death's coming after her family. So she's got to be like, I need to prove to Steph that the shit's real. So she goes outside with that book and she tells Steph, she's like, here, you need to take the book. You know, you need to protect, the family type thing. And she would just like, you could tell that Steph's not really buying it, but then Iris is kind of like, I guess I'll just have to show you, and tells her to like step back. And it was like, Death was like, got you, bitch. And, you get a little, I don't know what they call those things on top of barns that like spin around. It's got like south, north, east, west, and it like spins like a little point at the top and it kind of spins around. I don't know what they call those. But that and the fire extinguisher just kind of, and then you get another one of like, bam, just a cool looking kill. And I will say this, the kills in this movie is what you expect from Final Destination movies. You expect it to be over the top. You expect it to be just kind of insane to where you're watching it going, there's no fucking way. But some of them are like, some of the shit in the Final Destination movies that I like, there's some of them that were like, okay, that could really happen type thing. In this one, not so much. Some of these were kind of like, no fucking way. Probably my least out of all the kills in this movie, the one that I did not like, that I just thought there's a barbecue scene where the family is having a little barbecue. Uncle Howard, all the kids having a barbecue. And this is where Sophie starts figuring out some shit. She's pieced this book that Dead Iris gave her. She's figured all this shit out, and she's realizing she's starting to see some things. And so she needs to go. She knows she's got to protect the rest of the fucking family. And so then she starts figuring it out. And you get to the barbecue scene. And at this point, I'm not happy already because I feel like I'm watching a bunch of a Disney. They found a Disney TV show, pulled some characters off of it and said, let's make a horror movie with y'all. And they made this. And I don't know, it gets to the barbecue scene and all the little things are happening. Like you have to say, I'm not going to go into every little thing that happens at the barbecue scene to kind of try to trick you into what's going to happen. You're just like, really? Just get it over with. Just okay. And then you get the lawnmower, and I get it. That's probably something that one of the big kills that, I didn't watch a trailer to this. When they said the movie was coming out, I don't like watching trailers. So I didn't know anything as far as kill wise until I watched it, because I just stayed away from trailers and shit like that. And I don't like for it to be spoiled too much for me, even though I'm spoiling the shit out of it now, but it's okay. So But I'm assuming like the whole lawnmower thing was probably one that people were like, oh man, they're just singing in this movie with this lawnmower sits on this guy's face. And, you know, but that for me was my least favorite out of them because it was just so, just it felt forced. The whole, everything at the barbecue I didn't like. And at this point, it's going down for me. I'm not enjoying the movie. I mean, at this point, and after that was over, there comes a part with all the families together. Uncle Howard is now dead. Now all of them are sitting around in the living room, and Steph is trying to explain to them what she has found out from this book. She's trying to explain to them like death is coming after us, and just the writing. I didn't. It was the way I don't know. I wish I'm not smart enough to break down exactly how I felt as I'm listening to it. I just didn't like it. I felt like the movie felt rushed to me, like everything was just happening like quick for some reason to me. And I'm at that point where she's trying to explain to them like what's happening and watching the kids' reaction, the other kids' reaction to it, listening to them talk, and like long lost mom's been gone for all these years now. Mom's there, and it's just this like we're not going to, deal with that elephant in the room. And I remember looking at my wife as I'm watching it, and I'm going, I do not like this movie. I just I don't. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, well, at this point, I'm kind of like, I'm in it to the end. I'm not going to turn it off. I want to see what else, they're going to do. And as it continued on, and then it starts getting predictable. To me, it did. To where the part where, especially like when they're going, there's a part in the hospital, and there's little things that happen in the hospital. And I remember like the death in the hospital when they're trying to get the Reese's cup out of the snack machine. As soon as that part went down, and you seen that little spring, my wife goes, that spring gonna kill that boy. And like you seen it. Like I said, I get it. Some of the kills are meant to be over the top in these movies. I get it. That's what they're known for. And but like I said, I just didn't like some of them. I didn't like the lawnmower. I definitely didn't like the scene, the kill for Julie, or whatever her name is. That involved a leaf blower, a soccer ball, and a trash truck. Apparently 2 kids kicking a soccer ball just all of a sudden out of nowhere can kick it so fucking hard and fast that it would literally hit a girl upside her head, pick her up off the ground, tip her into a garbage can on the side of the street. That kind of kick. And I was like, wasn't a fan. and at this point, I'm just sitting there going like, man, I'm not liking, I'm not enjoying this. This movie is forgettable for me. It's forgettable. The other Final Destinations, man, they're just, after all these years, you can think back on them and still be like, holy shit, that was crazy. When you think about some of the kills and everything that went on. But for me, Bloodlines is a forgettable one. The best thing about Bloodlines is fucking Tony Todd. Rest in peace. I'm so glad he got to have that part in the movie, and he got to, and I think I'd read that for that part of the movie, they kind of let him have free reign as far as how he wanted to handle it. He knew, his health wasn't great. And they were kind of like, let him have that little moment to do it. What they call that? I think I read it was like creative control over his final scenes. And it was just so cool seeing him because he's been around, Candyman, other Final Destination, so much stuff, man. Just GOAT. And so having him, it's like I was waiting on him. As soon as they get to the part where he shows up, I'm like, yes, here we go. And that was the best part for me, was getting to see him. And even toward the end of it, where everything started coming, you're sitting there going like like Bob, whatever his fucking name is, the little preppy one, got the brother named Eric, who you come to find out Eric's not his real brother. So whatever. But there's a part where Tony Todd, JB, they wanted to know, how can we beat this? And he basically tells them, you got to kill somebody. You can kill somebody, you take the remaining years of their life, or you die and you get brought back to life the same way our girl did in the one where she drowned and they brought her back. And so then you get Eric basically going to tell Bobby, this is what we need to do. We're going to have to kill you and bring you back. This we can do. Now, Eric has that look of like, you would not trust him to do anything. Like anything. You just wouldn't trust him. He just got that look of like, nope, I am not about to put my life in your hands, guy. And so Bobby's kind of like, okay, I'm going to do that. We're going to go along with it. And I believe you, Eric, are going to be able to do everything we need to do to bring me back to life. Like, no, Eric, you're not the guy. And then we get into the hospital with the big MRI machine. I get it, people. They always say, I've had MRIs, they always ask you, you ain't got nothing metal and shit like that. I get it. But damn it, boy, they had a fucking a magnet in that damn thing. I would think in a hospital, wherever this big machine is, that it's in a room to where it's not going to affect things outside of that room. When this big thing MRI machine starts going off to a point of getting real magnetized, this thing's affecting shit down the hall, like around the corner down the hall. Like shit sliding around, and I'm like, oh man, like once again, I get it. Final Destination movies, over the top kills, I get it, but I just wasn't a fan. People, here we go. 2025, $50 million. Hold on, gentleman, Jack break. $50 million. Maybe I expected more. Maybe because of how good it was in 2000 when this whole thing kicked off, just how crazy and good it was. And maybe I just had higher hopes. Maybe I went into it with too high hopes and just got let down. I expected more. And for me, this Bloodlines was a disappointment to me. It starts winding down toward the end of the movie, and you're seeing what's coming. And like I said, a bunch of Disney characters, TV show characters running around. Yeah. Even the writing, like the way they talked and the shit was just not great. I did not like this movie, people. That's what I'm saying. I did not enjoy it. Shit felt rushed. Some of it was just kind of cheesy acting. Forgettable. I get it. It did well. I looked at after I watched the movie, I looked at some of the ratings on it as far as like, IMDb and shit like that. Like almost like right at 7. Like it was a big hit and stuff like that. But for me, it's not so much maybe the killing that was over the top. But for me, I swear it was the acting. Just how cheesy it came across, like the little barbecue scenes and the way they talked to each other and the way that these families acted together. It was just cheesy to me. I didn't like the writing. I didn't like the acting for none of them. Tony Todd, the only one. But the rest of them, no. $50 million. And it's forgettable for me, family. I'm assuming by this point of the show, you realize where I'm going with my rating. As much as I enjoy all the Final Destinations, watched them all numerous times. This one didn't like it. Yeah. And I'm curious for people who were around when the originals kicked off. Like, I'm curious, like, people's opinions on if you were there, remembering like 2000 when you got to sit down and watch that first one, and then watch them throughout the years. You know, how do you look at this one? And I wondered, do y'all think it was great? Was it better? Was it good? I don't know. I was just let down by it. I'm curious to know how other people felt about this movie. Maybe some people who had never really, you know, there's people out there who may not want to have never even watched the first Final Destinations. A lot of them look at movies like that and go, like, the year 2000, I'm not watching that. You know, a lot of the Final Destination probably gained a lot of new fans because of this one, which is great. If it, newer generation sees this and it makes you want to go back and watch the other ones. But for me, man, was not a fan of the writing and the acting for me. I feel like it could have been a better group to write it to where it didn't sound so Disney-ish, where you didn't watch the family together and it just seems just forced, and it was just, ugh. Yeah. Did not like it. So yeah, family, if we got to do this whole rating thing, it's a kill for me. I don't want to watch Bloodlines again. It's a forgettable one to me. Now, do I hope they keep making them? Hell yeah, I do. But this one, yeah, unforgettable. No, it is forgettable. That's where did I say that right? It is forgettable. Yeah. I'm not watching this one again, family. Hold on. Gentleman Jack break. And some ice. But yeah. Some cool kills in it. I just didn't like the cast. I didn't like all that shit. Didn't like it. Some of it was predictable. Like I said, it was just, but hey, it's a horror movie and I enjoy watching horror movies. And so, like I say, always, people, go watch the movie. Go have your own opinion of it. Go check it out. I will never, ever, ever get on here and tell people not to go watch a movie because everybody's got different opinions. I didn't like it. It's a kill to me. Somebody else may watch this, love it. Could be one of their most favoriteest movies ever. And that's okay. That's the cool thing about it is I can have an opinion. You got an opinion. This is just me. But like I said, not a fan. It's a kill for me. Final Destination, Bloodlines. Yeah. But hey, if they want to make another one, I'll definitely be checking that one out too. But yeah, I appreciate y'all hanging around listening to me talk about Final Destination Bloodlines. I appreciate y'all taking some time out of your day listening to the shit show. Yeah. Go like, subscribe, all that stuff on YouTube. And trying to get the subscribers up, I'm not sure what the next episode is going to be. I do have right here, hold on one second. If you're on YouTube, you'll see this. If you're just listening, you're just going to have to hear it. But I have 4 new movies from a Brian, if I mess your last name up, I apologize. Brian Cavallin, Cavallin. Brian Cavallin. But I have some new movies from him. One right here. Guts on the Chainsaw. Oh yeah. Another one right here. The Devil's Hacksaw. Then I got another one called Inherited Scars. The Unrated Director's Cut. Oh yeah. Then I got another one. This Way to Hell. When the devil wants your soul, there's nowhere to hide. 4 brand new ones. Never seen them. I'm looking forward to watching them. And I'm probably might talk about 1 or 2 on this show. I love independent horror. I love getting a chance to something that I haven't heard of any of these. You know, like I said, I'm kind of new to the horror, but I haven't heard of them, and I'm looking forward to watching them. Go support independent horror. But yeah, I appreciate everybody hanging out with us and listening to the shit show. Go check out Final Destination Bloodlines. Just because I want to kill it, still telling you to go see it. But I think that's going to wrap it up, people. I think that's it. Family, I appreciate you all. Everybody grab your drink for another little sip. Now, hope you all have a great fucking week. Until next time, family. This is that time of the episode where I need you all to reach over. I need you to pick up your drinks. I need to gather up all your shit. Y'all go put your chairs away. And then y'all get the fuck out of here.
What's your favorite scary movie?
We have such sights to show you.
Monsters!
Is my desire.
My name is Frankenstein!
Batman's got Mars!
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
See this? This is my boomstick!
I ate his liver with some father beans. Nice community. It's us.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Here's Johnny. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains. There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror.
Welcome to the debauchery.